In Conversation is a collection of interviews with fashion photographers, models, makeup artists and stylists, as they give an insight into the industry and talk about some of their most inspiring images.
So yeah, thanks for joining. Basically, in Conversation set up just as a chance to speak to creatives in the industry and give you a chance to kind of talk about where you're at, how you got into the industry, and then talk about some of your images and go through that. So yeah, first of all, just maybe start with just introduce yourself.
Okay, so I'm Emily Haythornthwaite. I'm a model and a online fitness coach specifically for models as well. So helping girls like in the industry get into really good shape, create that healthy relationship with food, making sure that we're fueling ourselves with like nutritious food, looking after the gut, and just basically living a really healthy lifestyle. That's needed really.
Awesome. Well, we'll go into yeah, we mentioned about the course and all that sort of stuff. So we'll kind of go through. What we'll do is, as we'll go through, we'll talk about some of the modelling stuff, and then we'll go into that and kind of lead into that where it's kind of got to at this point. Um, Tell us a bit about your background. Sort of how did you get into modelling?
So I feel like it's quite a not a cliche, but I feel like a while ago there were so many girls getting scouted at the clothes show live in Birmingham. Do you know the one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm from Birmingham, so yeah, I kind of know.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
I was on a school trip there when I was 14, just going 15.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was scouted there by who was my mother agency for about 5 or 6 years. And I was with them with Storm and then worked in London for all that time. And then recently, well, no, I say recently, probably just before lockdown, I just ended up signing with some Manchester agencies instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just been working pretty local since then, really. And I've been in the industry for like nearly 8 years, really.
Mm-hmm.
So a long
And has
time.
it been going? Is it going well? Then is it kind of at a good stage?
Yeah, I'm really happy with where work's going at the minute. I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable and confident within myself. And I feel like that comes across in probably the work that I'm booking as well. Whereas beforehand, I just wasn't 100%
Mm-hmm.
confident within myself, and work was very very sporadic. I could literally go 6 weeks without working.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now I'm a lot happier with where work is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of evened out and got to like a nice level. Was it good? Having like sort of the agency stuff early on, and that was that a good thing? Did that kind of help set you up quite well?
Yeah, I wouldn't be in the industry if I wasn't scouted.
Yeah.
I think even if it was something that I wanted to do, I don't know if I'd know where to start, or even if I was to try and go freelance, I'd I wouldn't know how to get work.
Mm-hmm.
So to have an agency there, it just makes life so much easier. They do all the hard work for you.
Yeah, is it kind of? I know there's different thing with different ages. Are they quite proactive? It's and do they kind of? Yeah, you just kind of like leave it up to them, and then they'll just kind of contact you when stuff comes through.
Yeah, really. I mean, I think it's good to keep a relationship with them. Obviously, emailing as frequently as you can. The better. If you're kind of top of mind to agents, then they're going to be pushing you forwards. Whereas if you're just waiting for them to contact you and waiting for them to get in touch with you, I would personally find that jobs are a lot more far and few between. Whereas if you're front of mind,
Mm-hmm.
just so happens that you book more jobs.
Yeah, yeah. And do you get to go in quite often and sort of see them, or is it mostly just through like emails and stuff?
It depends really. It varies. I mean, if they were there for castings and stuff, obviously I can go and say hey and that kind of thing. But it's still like a good hour's drive for me, so it's not like a case of just nipping in to say hi. But when I'm there, I'm there to say hey.
Yeah. And with work, is that where does most of it come in? Is most of it up north, or do you get quite a lot down in London as well?
Majority of it's up north now. When I was signed in London for like the first 5 years of my career, it was I want to say in London, but a lot of it was abroad. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of European like cities and stuff working there, a lot in Spain and in Germany and that kind of thing, and then obviously mainly London. But now I say 90% of my work is up north, which is ideal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there seems to be more brands and everything kind of working up north now as well now, and sort of
Yeah, way more.
Yeah, even ones who are like, even if they're kind of London, a lot of them are like London based. I mean, there will be a lot kind of coming up because stuff like studios are cheaper and all that sort of stuff as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of music to our ears a bit because yeah, there's a lot more up here now.
Yeah, it does. I feel like a few years ago there was nothing, and it is getting a lot more. I think not when I first signed, but after being signed with my London agency for a few years, I was kind of testing the waters to get a northern agency, and they were just like, "Oh, there's not enough work there. It's not really worth it." And probably granted, me only being like 16 to 18 then, looking young as it is anyway, I probably wasn't the right model for that. But it's definitely opening up way more in Manchester. I think even out of Manchester as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's bits. I mean, I've noticed a lot with work, and there's been quite a bit even like with Liverpool and places like that as well.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's there's definitely a lot more going on compared to how much there used to be. With like this kind of shoots like say like a bit abroad, is that stuff that's kind of quieted down after like lockdown or things like that?
Sorry, say that again.
Say like with the shoots like abroad and everything, is that something that's is that gone a little bit quieter with the shooting abroad? Like most of it's more kind of in the UK now. Is that something that's been since lockdown? Do you think?
Yeah, I think to be honest, just more the agency that I'm with now.
Mm-hmm.
I think because it was such a big, well-known agency in London, and they had so many international clients that had a massive part to play in it. And I mean, you get a few regular clients that are from out of the country, then you're going to feel like you're flying here, there, and everywhere a lot more. Whereas now, because it is a lot more Manchester based, really, obviously there could be some direct bookings that are abroad. That's the main reason. Obviously, it did quieten down from lockdown, but it was then from lockdown that I'd left that agency, which obviously stopped me from travelling more.
Yeah, and you're with is it the one agency now up north? Is that you?
Yeah, I just signed with Nemesis now. I've been with them I signed with them, you know what, I can't even remember when it was, but this time last year I was living in Australia for a year, so I kind of obviously left them then, and then I came back around April time and then just signed back with them again.
Yeah. Do you think you would kind of sign up with someone else as well again in London maybe, or are you content with how things are here?
Yeah, never say never. I mean, I'm open to anything really.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll kind of see what comes through, see how it goes. Yeah, we can go into the first image actually and talk about that. So the one that we picked out first of all was, where is it? Let me see. It's the one with the white dress and the boots.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just tell us a bit about this. Like, where was that shot?
It was shot in Manchester actually by a London photographer, Sam. I'm not gonna say his last name because I'll probably get it wrong and I don't want to butcher it. But yeah, it was just shot around. Where in Manchester was it? Not Piccadilly. Just like in the centre, really. So just.
So was that for like just like a portfolio builder as well?
Yeah, just an update really. I think because the first 6 weeks of me coming home, because I've only been back in the UK for about 8 months. Obviously, way more tanned, way more blonder, living in the sun for a year. So we needed some updates. So we just had like quite a few updates all at once from like around the summertime really. So it was just to send out to potential clients.
Yeah. And when you're sort of deciding whether to like accept a shoot, to do all that sort of stuff, is there certain things you consider like, oh, that's going to be beneficial for your book?
I think it's just what's missing, to be honest. Like I'm feel like I'm pretty versatile in the work that I can do. Like obviously I've got quite an athletic build, but then I can do very just like you standard e-commerce stuff. So it's just making sure that I had that mixture of everything in my book to send over to clients.
Yeah. And do you feel like you've got to be quite on top with that sort of stuff of getting like fresh imagery, or can you get some stuff and you think that'll kind of it last for a while?
I think it depends really. It depends much your how much you change really. I mean, if you're gonna chop all your hair off and all of your books got you with like 12-inch hair,
Yeah.
then obviously you're going to need to update it quite frequently. I think it depends on the person, really. I think if you are changing and your look is changing, then you're going to need to update your book quite frequently. But if it's not, and you're booking work through the pictures that you've got currently in your portfolio, then there's no reason to change it. But obviously, if you're quiet, you're not getting any work, there might need to be something that has to be changed within your portfolio.
Yeah. So it's a good way to kind of reflect on like how it's going with it, and like so yeah, if things are quiet, it kind of needs a bit of a change or something.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
yeah, and then like kind of any different like looks with like if your hair's changed or anything like that as well. Yeah. Well, moving on to image two. That's the beach image.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I got a few images from there. So that was with I think it was Robin Darcy was the photographer.
Yeah.
How long ago was that one?
That was this summer. I want to say July time, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. June, July on Formby Beach.
Yeah. Do you like? Have you done many beach shoots? Do you like those ones?
Not I'd done one before for a brand, and that was it.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was the first beach one that we'd done. It wasn't the warmest, I must admit. It was freezing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can be. I think. Yeah, I think in this country that it can be a bit tricky to kind of to judge it right and then suddenly you might get it kind of comes out of nowhere and you get that odd day which is not amazing sun or warmth and everyone's just quickly out and like especially with shooting it's like quick and we'll try and get some as quick as we can.
Yeah, and I think mine was the first one of the morning, and it was so cloudy. And then literally just as my slot had finished, I think she had a few more girls booked in. Bright blue skies, like went like 10 degrees warmer, such a nice day. And I was like, oh, sod's law.
Yeah, yeah. You have to do that shooting as well, just like trying to look like you're kind of warm, you're not freezing or anything like that as well.
Yeah, try not to show me goosebumps.
Yeah. What was it like working with Robin?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, she's sound. We had a lot to
Yeah.
chat about. I think she was literally just going to Thailand that summer, and I'd just been campaign, like an Adidas campaign or a Nike campaign, would be so sick.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think like well, like I said, mentioned about like some of the gym stuff because I know like you're really big on that. So I think that would be like perfect for you. How would you fit like on a shoot? What sort of person would you say you are?
Sorry, you just broke up a bit then.
Oh, that's all right. Can you still? Is that okay?
Yeah, say it again.
Yeah. What sort of person would you say you are on a shoot?
I'm a laugh.
Would you say you're quite? Yeah. Would you say quite like extrovert, introvert?
The thing is with me, I'm a bit of a weirdo. Like if the people around me are, I guess you call it mirroring. I mirror people quite a lot. So if someone's quite timid and shy with me, I'm a lot less likely to be more chatty and more outgoing. Whereas if I'm getting the vibes off someone that they do want to chat and they're happy and they're having a laugh, and that'll pull that side out of me a lot more as well. But in general, like I'm a confident person. Like I love talking, so it helps. It helps a lot.
Yeah, I think it helps, and I feel like especially nowadays with models and stuff, because I feel like they kind of ask you to do a lot more stuff as well about like creating videos and then stuff for socials, where it might have in the past it might have been a bit more of like just doing the shoot and doing like the photos. Now there seems to be. Do you get that quite a bit on shoots where there's asking to like be involved a bit in like creating some of the social videos and stuff?
I think not necessarily like creating videos, but it is a lot more about personality now than it probably was once upon a time, which I think is great because, say, I don't know, even just 5 years ago, nobody cared about what the model was actually like as a person. They just wanted, if there was that look and that fit, it didn't matter if they didn't speak for the whole like 6 to 8 hours on a shoot. Whereas now I think it actually matters if you get along with everyone on set and you're like a nice person to be around. Basically, I think that has a big impact in who does the.
Yeah, well, I think it's like that side of things as well, because it definitely there's something to that as well about, because also you want to get booked again, and if you're working with a team, and again it's those little things of just kind of being a bit like being nice on set, but just being easy to talk to, being quite sort of open and all that. I think it's stuff that is very beneficial, because then it can get you kind of like future work with like the same people.
Yeah, of course. I think it's especially in the UK as well. I think it definitely leans more towards that than it might do in some European cities.
Yeah. What do you like? Who or what do you get inspiration from?
I love being a small fish in a big pond. Rather than being like the biggest fish in a small pond where you've got like nowhere to move and stuff. I think I'm really inspired by people who are doing better than me. And I think it's really important to be around people that are way above you, but also in the same breath, I think it's really important to kind of be around people that are almost humble you as well, and make sure that you are grounded and kind of humbled basically. But I think my main and biggest inspiration is being around people who are doing way better than me and are more successful than me, really, because it just makes you want to strive to be like them, really. I don't think I have anyone specifically who inspires me and I look up to them like a god, like, oh my god, I'd love to be you. But seeing people and being around people who are in a better position than me, career-wise, financially-wise, that sort of thing does inspire me.
Yeah, you think it's something that kind of, it basically not just drives you, and it's like, yeah, it gives you that kind of like incentive of like what to achieve, that sort of thing, basically.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can always, like I said, I'd always prefer to be the small fish. And is that the right saying? Have I completely muddled it up?
Oh, that's it. Small fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
That is a saying. Yeah.
I knew there was something like that, and I'm like, is that even the right way that it goes?
Yeah, no, that is the right way. But I think, normally it's because it's when people say it's like, oh, you feel like a small fish in a big pond, like kind of, I don't know how to describe, almost not like.
It can feel intimidating, I think.
Yeah, but I think seeing it from that side of things is a good approach to have with it, because it's, yeah, like you say, you're not kind of seeing this other stuff. I think sometimes people can like see this stuff of, if people are achieve stuff doing really well, it's maybe like from an envious side of things or something, but to actually have that approach of looking at it and be like, well, no, if they're successful reason they've got this, so I'm going to use that as inspiration. I think it's
100%.
it's a good approach. Yeah. Do you think you'll always be like that, or do you think you'll get to the point when you feel like, nah, I've achieved what I want to achieve, or do you think you'll always be constantly like just striving to achieve more?
Yeah, I think you can always be better, which is, it's obviously a good trait to have, but I think, again, on the same lines, it's also, for me personally, a bad trait to have, because you can get caught up in where you actually are at the moment. But where I am right now, I could have only dreamed of being like 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you get a little bit too caught up in, oh, but I want to be there. They're doing better. I can get there. And I think it is important to, like I said, be around the people that can humble you as well, and like ground you and think, no, you're actually where you wanted to be how many years ago. So appreciate it, kind of enjoy the journey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a big thing. It's like keeping that balance, and I think the enjoyment, because like you say, I think you can get a bit too focused on that. It's got to be that, but then you look back on it and you go, yeah, if you kind of trying too hard to do that, you, like you say, you're gonna look back and you think, I haven't enjoyed it as much as I could have.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, keeping that balance, so you're getting both sides of it. How do you feel you've developed as a model? So how long did you say you've been doing it?
So I was scouted when I was 14, and I'm 23 in 10 days, so 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, nearly 9 years. Oh, wait, is that right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Eight.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So do you feel? Hang on, let me just flip my lights gone off. Let me just flip that.
I can't remember what the question was now.
Okay, I'm right there. Yeah, it's just it's gone down a little bit. There we go. We're still at that point in the day where it's still getting a bit dark at this point in the day.
Yeah, I know. I flicked mine on just before, because I was like, I'm either going to be sat in the pitch black by the time this finishes.
Yeah, it's like when it gets to around about like 4 o'clock, still it's almost there, but it's we're nearly at summer. We're nearly getting to like. Yeah. Just back on that, just with the so in that time, how do you feel like you've developed? Because that's quite a long time to be in it as well.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I've done a full 180 in the fashion industry, for sure. I think I went in very naive and very young, really. I think if I had a choice, obviously, when you first scouted, it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Let's go for it. It's going to be so good. No idea whatsoever, like went completely in it blind. And I think because I was in it quite young, I actually did begin to get work pretty quickly, but it was more for like teens. So I was lucky enough to start earning money quickly, where I feel like a lot of models, when they first get in the industry, maybe from like the age of 16, it is a good few years until they start getting work. So I think with that side of it, it was fine, because there was no toxic side of it, because it was literally kids' work, near enough.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I turned 17, 18, started getting signed internationally, like should have been going on stay with different agencies, or just kind of going down the route of more high fashion, where it's renowned for just girls being the super, like tiniest, skinniest, prepubescent version of themselves that they can be, which obviously isn't healthy. But at that moment, you've seen everything through kind of rose-tinted sunglasses, because you're like, oh my God, I'm going to work with this brand. Like, they're going to love me. I'm going to make so much money. And you'll near enough do anything to get there, no matter how unhealthy it is. And models only know the quickest, most unhealthiest way to get into that desirable shape, and what they think is desirable. And I was probably stuck there for 2 years, which in the grand scheme of things is probably quite a short period of time compared to some models. And I love food, right? I love just eating good, not necessarily like unhealthy food, but I just love eating. And for
Mhm.
me to be in this shape that I wanted to be in, I was miserable because I was like barely eating food. I didn't know what I should have been eating. And I was just kind of in a constant toxic cycle of like not eating at all, then overindulging on foods that I just completely cut out. And I was doing it because I thought that was what was going to make me money, what was going to get me work. And then luckily, I kind of hit a wall and I was like, fuck this kind of thing. Started actually getting into the gym properly. Then I started getting like PT qualifications, started understanding food a lot better, understanding how to fuel my body, getting way more confident within myself. Obviously, off the back of that, booking even more work because obviously I'm coming across more confident to clients. Yeah, so it's kind of gone from being that naive 14, 15-year-old self to almost following that trend that probably nearly every model will follow and or has followed. Luckily, it's getting a little bit better now to then flipping it on its head and kind of working with brands because of not necessarily because of how I am now, but because of the confidence levels that have come from having.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel that's do you feel there's kind of like a more awareness of that now as well? Like, so models will kind of know about that a bit more from that earlier age, or do you think it's still something that's it's easy to fall into that kind of trap?
I'd like to say that it's not as morning about the whole thing, and she took the words right out of my mouth and saying, I don't want this to be like a 12-week blast as such. Like I want it to be part of my lifestyle and sticking into my routine that I can do forever. And that's exactly what I want it to be for them. I don't want them to get shredded as quickly as they can and then go back to normal routines and not stick to it. Like what we do, implementing things slowly so they can eventually become part of their everyday routines. They can stick to it forever. By the time they know it, they're feeling like 10 times better, skin's glowing, looking better, saving time, because they've managed it into their life rather than cramming it all in at once.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing, because I think especially with like in the industry and like with models and that as well, it's like you say, it can be a very kind of fast-paced lifestyle, and then especially if you're going off for jobs and you're like different countries or different places and there's a lot of like moving around and stuff, that can be like, whether it's the working out side of things or it's like the eating things, I think definitely something that you can still do alongside that to kind of add it into that busy lifestyle, but you're still doing it the right way and like eating right and everything as well. I think that's the key thing.
Yeah, 100%.
How's the response been so far?
Really good. Yeah, I was nervous at first because it's pretty new, really. Obviously, I've been online coaching for a few years now, but making that transition to models, I was nervous and I was kind of, I knew it was needed, but almost a case of do they know that they need it was a big question.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at first that was something that I came across and I struggled with, but since Christmas, it's been going really, really well, which I'm so happy about. And I think the feedback of the girls, which is obviously the most important to me, it's knowing that it's working and they're getting the better results is the most important part.
Yeah. I think it's good to hear that it's going well. I think, like I say, it can be very tricky with something like that as well. Like I say, you're not sure until you do it. You don't know, like not exactly like that. What you said, like, is it something that's going to be needed? But I think, I think it's definitely needed. And obviously you already know people in the industry as well, so you can get that kind of quick feedback.
Yeah. I mean, it was good to get the market research beforehand. Obviously, already having almost those built up connections. It's not like I was starting from scratch trying to find all these women to work with. I was just genuinely building up conversation with models to figure out what it is that they actually wanted and needed first, and to see if it was aligning with what I thought they wanted and needed.
Yeah. No, it's good that it shows that it is needed and that someone, that like you are doing something about it. Has the agency been good with it as well? They've been really positive about it.
Yeah, I've actually asked to do a workshop at the agency with the female models, so to kind of help them understand what is needed to get them feeling more confident, how to create a consistent workout routine. So I'm excited to do that. That's on the cards so far.
Yeah, that's good. It's good that they can kind of help with that as well. Okay, we'll go into the last image and then we'll just do a roundup and just any little bits of advice in that. The last one was like the sportswear one. So again, kind of similar, like with the gym stuff we're just talking about. So yeah, it's the one. Yeah, the sportswear image, like the gym one. So was that in Manchester as well? That one?
Yeah, I think it was just out of Manchester actually. But yeah, I think it was just a town in Greater Manchester.
Yeah, was that another test shoot?
Yeah, that was just a test as well. That was actually over a year ago, maybe even 2.
Right.
I think with Compton Harry. Is it Harry Compton? But yeah. Again, that was just a test similar to the others. It was just bringing in a little bit more diversity into my portfolio to get more fitness work, really, and it worked.
Yeah, so adding that kind of fitness stuff into the portfolio. Do you find that when you're doing, do you have to do anything different when you kind of when you're working on like a sports or gym shoot or anything? Do you find you have to do anything different? Or is it kind of the same?
Yeah, in comparison to like a standard e-com shoot or a normal test shoot, it is a lot more like I think I'm really fit, right? And then a couple of weeks ago I had a shoot and I was like jumping up and down on the spot for like a good 2 minutes trying to get this one shot, and I was blowing after it, and I was like, guys, I'm supposed to be a personal trainer and you've got me out of breath in 2 minutes.
I suppose it can be. Was it also like that challenge of like you're doing that, but then you're still trying to focus on the shot and the pose and everything as well. So
Yeah, definitely. It's like you're not just moving. It's like you got to make sure that your face is right. You got to make sure that the clothes are still looking good, as well as doing whatever it is that you want them to do. But the fitness ones are definitely a lot more active than a normal one.
yeah, Would you? So we said like, would you say that kind of the sportswear, the gym stuff are you kind of like the favourite shoots? Do you think, because that again it goes, because I know obviously you love like your gym stuff and that. Do you think those are the kind of ideal jobs? Or do you like having that mix?
I like having the mix, to be honest. I think it's good to have that diversity. I wouldn't really say I have a favourite, to be honest, but I like having a mixture of everything.
Mm-hmm. Going towards like the future and like sort of whether it's to do with the course or with the model as well. Do you have any like sort of plans in the near future, like any kind of goals, anything like that?
Yeah, I think coaching wise is literally just to get as many girls on team as possible. I'd love to get another coach below me, ideally in both the fashion industry, and obviously they're going to have to be qualified as a PT. But I think there's quite a few models actually now who are either qualified or getting at least fitness instructor qualifications. So I'd like to say a year down the line, I'd have another coach below me.
Mm-hmm.
And then work in terms of modelling, just ticking away consistently, booking some jobs.
It's nice to have like the kind of the two that go alongside each other there. So
I really enjoy the balance, and they both work so well hand in hand. If I am working on a shoot, it just means I'm up like maybe an hour earlier to get some work done, which I don't mind. Like the thing is, I don't want to be absolutely crammed shoot wise to the point where my service drops off to clients. So for me, it's important to not be booked like Monday to Friday.
Yeah, getting that nice balance can be a bit tricky, but yeah. Nice. Last couple of bits. Any advice for models? Anyone not just starting out in the world of modelling?
Yeah, sign on to the Model Reset program. No, I'm joking. Any advice to models just getting into the industry is you've got to be confident. Like you've got to, this is really cliche, but you've got to love yourself and like own your shit and feel good. Walk into castings like knowing you look good, you feel good, confident, making conversation. I think it's really important to be the person that they remember, not necessarily because of your looks, because you can't change the way you look facial wise anyway. There's got to be a reason why you're the person that they remember, whether it's you just chatting to a makeup artist or you are at a casting or you're on a shoot. I think that's probably the most important thing to have a successful career, definitely, because they see so many models day in, day out. You want to be that one that's like, oh, do you remember XYZ?
Yeah, and it's that bit of confidence that kind of helps.
Yeah, 100%. I think confidence is key. Even if you've got to just fake it till you make it for a while, it will eventually come. But having that confidence is crucial. Just being chatty, I think.
Yeah.
Goes a long way. Definitely. People love to have a good conversation and just be real as well. Like, don't be a dick.
Yeah, I think it's like we were saying about like on set and everything as well. With people, a big thing. Obviously, like word of mouth's a big thing in the industry as well, and people like known like who've worked with and everything. And again, if you've been on one shoot with someone, being quite sort of confident, not speaking to the team and that sort of stuff, it does go a long way because people remember it when they want to hopefully book you again.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. And then just that last bit. How can, if people want to contact you about the coaching course, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Instagram is the best way. So it's at Emily _Haythornthwaite. Very long surname. Should probably Should probably change the Instagram actually, but that's going to be the best way. Even just have a flick through my Insta, you're going to find out loads of useful information, whether it's training, nutrition, mindset. If you like what you see, just give me a DM. I'm happy to just have a chat, jump on a call, talk you through the program and how it all works.
Perfect, great. Well, I'm looking forward to sort of keeping an eye on it, see how the course goes and develops, and it's a good thing you do, and it's good that it's like helping out the models with that. So I think it'll be interesting to see it grow, and alongside the model as well, it'll be nice to sort of see some of the extra shoots you do and what you're kind of doing in the near future.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure we'll have some things coming up.
Great. Well, thanks for spending the time to talk to me. Thanks so much, Emily.
Oh, you're welcome. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed it.
Great. Thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
I will do. Thanks.